Hello, welcome, good morning. Please take a seat. Thanks for joining us on this set. Welcome. Let me say who you are. We have Eric Labaye. You are the chair of the Polytechnique Paris. Next to you, Sylvie Retailleau. You are the president of the Paris-Saclay University. Thanks for having us. And Philippe Van de Maele, you're the general director of the public agency in charge of the development of Paris-Saclay. Mr. Laval, as Marion said, this is your school. Thanks for hosting us. So for you, for your institution, what's at stake with hosting this emblematic event? Yes, so thanks. We are glad to have you in this Poincaré auditorium. And thanks for joining us here in Saclay. You're on the east part of the Saclay venue, and hosting the sprint event shows that altogether we're at the heart of a major innovation cluster that has international recognition, which is an innovation melting pot thanks to the connections we have between higher education institutions, laboratories, companies, startups, and altogether we generate innovation, we contribute to the development of the French and global economy, and we help address major challenges such as climate change, biotechnologies, etc. So having Sprint here is also means that we get together for the first time in 2 years. We're all connected, we're present, we have people following us remotely, but many of us are present. The Paris Polytechnique Institute was set up 3 years ago only, but you've been awarded many prizes. You are at the top of international rankings. You're number 12 globally in the QS employability, in the top 50 for QSWER for international universities. And the Paris Polytechnique Institute is first in France and 43rd at global level in the THE ranking of international universities for 2022. So that's great. What does it mean for you standing at the heart of this ecosystem? Is it thanks to all these synergies that you achieve such beautiful results? Well, we capitalize on 200 years of history, and then combining all these strengths gives us visibility and attractiveness, because what's important is to attract people here. So Polytechnique, with the best students, the best researchers, the best startups. So being present here gives us more visibility, we are more attractive, because when people look at this from the world over, they look at this region, and this is where we have lots of innovation, and we did this together, so that's great. Second thing, second asset, is that it allows boosting research on the major challenges facing the world today. I mean, innovation is not something you decide. Innovation is all about people who get together, talk together, and get things moving forward. So I mentioned the name of different players. I talked about companies, researchers, but also local authorities. All these players allow generating innovation. We need a critical mass, we need connections. And by the way, Polytechnique has settled here since 1976, and back in the days we were in the middle of agricultural fields. But a lot has been done over the last 15 years to increase connections and innovations. And you will see in the major hall that all institutions represented here show how much research is done, how much innovation is done, and how much contribution to the local economic fabric is achieved. Mrs. Retailleau, you are heading the Paris-Saclay University. And let's be proud, by the way. We're talking about international rankings, and the university you chair stands #1 in mathematics. So what's the good formula? Pun not intended. Is it what your colleague was saying, i.e. a matching between science and innovation? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We are moving in the same direction as Polytechnique. We are based in a campus, which is actually an ecosystem. And we all have a history. All our institutions were not created from scratch in 2019. We represent illustrious institutions with great international recognition in the field of research. And we also had major interactions between our establishments with Centrale Supélec, Agro-Paritech, the Optic Institute, the EMS, and the Faculty of Science of Orsay, or the Faculty of Medicine, of Pharmacy, of Economy, Law, Management. We had interactions. We'd had interactions for many years. We had joint master's degrees, and the scientific communities knew one another. But as we got closer geographically, we became more open to interdisciplinarity, and we had people working in IA, working with doctors, with pharmacists, but also with human and social sciences, which is a prerequisite in order to face the challenges we're faced with today. So by having everybody in the same geographical location, we increased on that. And one of the key words for me is diversity. Diversity in disciplines, diversity in education, and this is what creates this momentum. Mr. Van de Maele, you are the Director General of the Public Agency for the Development of Paris-Saclay. You organized this event, and coming back to what Mrs. Retailleau was saying, is this what Paris-Saclay is about for you? Is it about discovering what science can contribute as a response? And is it about celebrating diversity and the outcome from this ecosystem? Well, our role is to support research. We're not involved in research ourselves, but we're here to support research, because research is crucial for the future, for climate, for mobility, for everything. And we're here to support all this and to ensure a connection with the economic world. So, of course, we're talking about startups, and we have a French tech Paris-Saclay community. We also support R&D directors in all companies which are based here, because in this geographical location we have a large number of R&D centers, and that's what we're trying to achieve, by the way. We want to make these connections possible. And as was said before, innovation is about people meeting one another. Edward Glaser was saying innovation can cross the corridor as easily as an ocean. So we need to understand that, and we need to bring people together. So we have academia, but also local authorities, the state, the government that invests a lot, the region, and the 3 municipalities and the 2 departments. They all play a role to establish these connections, these links. And we are in a place where all communities meet together. And I think that's what allows innovation. So it's a collective event, but it's also an event that has a very concrete outcome. Many people meet here, and we're here to allow these companies, these startup companies, to scale up. Sorry, is this the ambition of Paris-Saclay Spring? Yeah. The objective, well, we have more than 2,000 participants. I think it's 2,200. More than 2,000 B2B interviews over the next 2 days. So start-uppers will meet investors, large companies, other operators, because you need different expertise when when you have a startup. So it's a collective experiment to allow all innovation stakeholders to get together and act in favor of innovation. Well, thank you. Thank you so much to the three of you for launching this Paris-Saclay Spring 2022 edition, and for all of you present in the room, or for those of you following us on Zoom, thanks a lot. And we will now visit the exhibition hall. Thank you so much. Thanks for having us. So, as we said, Paris-Saclay is attracting young students and scientists, but also companies and foreign companies who see Paris-Saclay as an extremely interesting or even strategic ecosystem for their development. And these foreign companies make a decision to have their R&D centers here in order to benefit the expertise and talents that you can find at the heart of Paris-Saclay. So we are going to meet with all these stakeholders setting business in France and setting business in Paris-Saclay. So let's have the ambassadors just after this.